Hey guys, welcome back. Um, yeah. On this week's edition of This Fan Should Probably Not Exist, I have a Panama Fan Company gear-driven ceiling fan. These are kind of notorious among fan collectors because they are probably the worst ceiling fan ever manufactured. Um, they're basically novelty items. I wouldn't really consider them like actual functioning ceiling fans. I mean, they are light kit adaptable, so they can work as like a ceiling light, but not really useful in the fan department. And there are many reasons for that. Probably the main being that the entire fan is made of plastic. Um, it was advertised as being completely brass, but they couldn't even be bothered to coat the put the fake brass plating on the entire motor housing. So the top of the housing and the quote unquote sideband that's part of the top is a yellow plastic color instead of the brass that it should be. Um, Now, these were very cheap, even at the time. They were only sold for I think $29.95, which, I mean, that's probably a lot more in today's money, but back then, I think that was pretty cheap still. But yeah, and they were only ever sold through a magazine. The magazine was called Family Handyman magazine, and there are ads out there floating around of these. And the picture, the whole fan is brass, and they advertise it as being just as good as the $300 top of the line Hunter cast iron model. They don't specifically name drop Hunter, but we all know what they're referring to. Um, and they also advertise it as being silent as a breeze. So yeah, now that was evidently deemed to be completely false because the fan is gear driven. It's not driven with like a regular. Oh, there I go, knocking the camera around. It's not like powered by like a regular spinner motor, like say the Caraway right there in the background. It's got like a little C-frame, basically like a bathroom fan, exhaust fan motor, uh, on to one side with a gear connected to the shaft, and the flywheel itself is a gear, so that little gear turns the larger gear that is the flywheel, and that's how it works. It's really, really pointless. It's a stupid design. I know why they didn't put an actual motor in, because they made the whole thing out of plastic. It wouldn't have been able to uh, hold the whole thing up. Um, Now, the blades, these are not the original blades. Um, well, first of all, like I said, the entire fan is plastic. Motor housing, canopy, the down rod isn't plastic. The blade arms are plastic, which is the stupidest thing because that's the one part that's like the most, has the most structural, I'd say, because it's holding the blade out. It's holding that long blade. It just, I don't know, it's stupid that they have plastic blade arms. Um, and also you can't balance them by like bending them because they're plastic, they'll break. But like I said, these blades are not original. They actually came from a Codep, I believe, a GE vent. The original blades were long destroyed, and the original ones were like a thin, I think balsa wood or plywood type material, probably balsa wood. But they had to be light so that those plastic blade arms wouldn't crack and break. Thankfully, these blades are light enough to not break those delicate blade arms. Now, I said the original blades were long gone. This fan actually came from a fellow fan collector. I don't know if he has a YouTube channel, but if he does, I will definitely link it in the description, and I'll probably show up in the comments too. But this one was found in an abandoned house. I'm not sure where. I think it was in Virginia. But yeah, I don't know why somebody decided to buy this fan and why they decided to leave it hanging and not take it down the instant they hung it up and turned it on. But either way, he took it down, rescued it, gave it to me. So now I got it. And this was consolation for I was supposed to get another brand new in the box one, but that deal kind of fell through, unfortunately. So this was good enough to me, honestly. Now, that's, as you can see, the brass parts are all pretty tarnished and the quote-unquote finish is missing. It's really dirty. It does still work though, and the nose cap is missing. It actually came, when I got it, with this attached to it. Actually, no, I didn't get it with it. He just included this with it, but this came on it when he found it hanging in the abandoned house. It's like a ceiling light fixture. Not a light kit, so I don't know why they decided to put that on there instead of a regular light kit, but very interesting. Yeah. So, anything else about this one? It's only one speed, obviously. And the pull chain is a really weird little, it's a unique design. I'll show it to you in a minute. There's other videos that show it up close, but it's like got a little hook on it. It's like basically like a rotary switch almost built into a pull chain, I think. It's cool. But I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and turn the fan on. So, here we go. It's going to be really loud. And you can clearly see and hear, well, why this is definitely not something that anybody in their right mind would have kept hanging or used, because it sounds horrific. This is even worse than, you thought the friction drives were bad. This is worse than those. My God. Yeah, it sounds like a washing machine. Although I will give it some credit, it is moving some air. I can feel like a light breeze. It feels like almost like a modern fan's medium speed. And I think, I mentioned in the group last night, but I think that with these blades, I think these blades are wider and thicker than the original ones, so I think it moves more air with these than it would with the original ones. But yeah, the noise really detracts from everything. And it doesn't help that that plastic housing is completely like open, so the sound gives that sound some space to resonate. Acts like a resonation chamber. Alright, I'll turn it off and spin it down. I think that squeaking sort of sound is from the gears need to be like greased or something. I might do that. But yeah, it has a very quick spin down time, as most of these unconventional motored fans do. Like the friction drives also have a really fast spin down. Yeah, I guess now I'll show you the fan up close, just to give you an idea. I know there's several other videos on YouTube of these fans, so this will be far from the first, but it'll still give you an idea. There's that really cool pull chain I mentioned. You can see there's a little hook in there that the string is tied to. It's not really a pull chain. You can call it more of a pull string or pull cord, but the hook turns the switch inside there. So yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, there's just the light kit wires in there. Plastic blade arms, very delicate, very flimsy. These blades, which are painted white on this side, but on this side, they're bare wood still. So yeah, there's the faceplate with the, somehow the screen is still intact. I don't know how. This motor housing, which is like a yellow. This lower canopy, which is also yellow, slides up. And the down rod actually screws directly into the frame that the motor's attached to down in here. Is there any tag or anything up here anymore? If there was a tag, it's probably long gone. Right there. Yep, there's the tag right there. I didn't even notice that. So, it looks like specs, voltage, amps, size 52. And then the canopy, or the upper canopy, is also plastic, but it was brass plated. So they at least bothered to do that. So I am going to take the blades off, and I'm going to take the faceplate off, because I do want to show you guys the inside, because this thing is really, really something. Well, I'll give them one thing. They used brass screws for the fake brass faceplate. But here's the faceplate you can see. Completely plastic. I think there's, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws? Felt like a lot more blades. But here's what the inside of the motor housing looks like. As you can see, like I mentioned, that flywheel is just a big giant gear. There's the little gear, which should actually be, I think, slid up a little more, so that it's making contact with the whole flywheel. And then there's the motor up there, which is, like I said, a little teeny C-frame shaded pole motor. And what's always funny about these is that they have a fan within a fan up there, much like the friction drives, which have a fan within a fan. There's a little exhaust fan blade that pushes air up through the top vents to cool the motor. So you know your fan is really awesome when you've got a fan inside of your fan. But there's also a counterweight on that side to balance out the weight of the motor. It's still plugged in, so I'm going to turn it on and show you what it looks and sounds like running with the blades off. It's like the fan is, exhaust fan up there is not spinning for some reason. I'll have to take a look at that. But yeah, it works. Let's see if that exhaust fan blade is... Looks like it's loose or something. I'll give it a check. See what's going on up there, but that should be spinning. Yeah. I'll also grease up the flywheel while I'm here. And slide that gear up the shaft of the motor. But I think that just about does it for this one. Very impressed that it works, considering it was an Abando fan. And yeah, so that is my Panama Fan Company Family Handyman magazine ordered gear-driven ceiling fan. So thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video.